Hello and welcome to our first recorded coffeetalk-co. Let's talk crypto. So already we have a lot in store for you today, but let me just tell you what we're going to do so you know why you want to be here next week for our live broadcast. So just grab a cup of something. It could be a cup of coffee. It's already, a little late, maybe your second cup or whatever you guys want to drink. Actually, we're drinking water today. So anyway, we're going to have different segments of our show. And I'm just going to briefly tell you about them. First, we're going to talk about what, how, when, and why. A lot of people don't even know about crypto, or they want to know about crypto. So we want to help you understand that. And I've been in crypto myself for about 6 years now. I used to do accounting for a mining company, a couple of mining companies, actually, back in 2012. So I used to get paid in Bitcoin when it was $160. So that was great, and I want to get back to doing that. So we're on this show going to tell you how you can maybe get hooked up with some coins as well. Our next segment is going to be Show Me the Crypto. So that's it. We're going to show you how maybe you want to invest, maybe you want to trade, maybe you just want to learn how to, or maybe you're somebody out there that wants to help people get in the space and give some coins. I'm looking at my hair going crazy here. That's crazy. Okay. Anyway, another segment is going to be Women Wednesdays. We have our first Women Wednesday tomorrow. It's going to be at the New York Coin Center, 167 Mott Street, between Bloom and Grand, 6 to 7. And yes, you are going to get free New York coins. So anybody that comes, if you put the app Coinomi, Coinomi, on your Android phone, they don't have it for iPhone yet, you will get 500 New York coins. And then we're doing a deal with them to be our sponsor, so we're going to find other ways for you to make more coins going forward. And then our fourth segment will be on Perfect Pitch, which we're going to be focusing on mostly today because we have some guests here in the studio who I'll introduce in a minute from Kimera, who's actually doing, not only are they doing an ICO, they can talk about it, and they're filming how to do it. So you're going to find out how to do it for yourself in the future. Blockchain and cryptocurrency jobs, because of course developers are in demand already, and they're going to get more and more in this space, so we want to cover that. Upcoming crypto events, conferences, trainings, and meetups. There's a lot of meetups going on in New York, and we have some meetups also that you can find on our website, coffeetalk.co, and we'll have links to that there. And then, of course, let's talk crypto. So if you are somebody that contacts me ahead of time and you want to call into the show, you have some questions maybe for our guests or for me, we'll answer your questions. So that's pretty much what we're going to do going forward. So just a little bit about me. I am, of course, the founder of this show and all other things around women in cryptocurrency. But as I mentioned, I was in the space pretty early on, about 6 years ago. And before that, I was a chief financial officer of a New York Stock Exchange company, high-tech, biotech company. So you'll learn more about me as you go. But I didn't have my cup today. I wanted to say I was from New Orleans. I had my Fat Tuesday coffee cup, but I forgot it at home. So that's fine. Next time. So, okay, let's jump right into our perfect pitch and welcome our guests. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves because literally we just met about 5 minutes ago. This is a very spontaneous show, so you never know what can happen. Somebody reached out to me last night through the meetup and said that there was an event tonight going on, and, you can pitch that too. And I said, oh, okay, they're doing a Reg A. I want to see how they do that. And then I thought, well, hey, I'll just invite them to be on the show. And so sure enough, like their guy's in Portland. I texted him this morning. He woke up at like 9:30 in the morning. I don't know. Texted me back, and they just jumped in and came over. So welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, let's turn it over to you.
Sure. So my name is Mo Shita, or Mo for short. I'm the founder and CEO of Kimera Systems. Kimera is really a result of counting really fast here. 13 years, 13 years of research in what we call artificial general intelligence and future economics. So we have a big claim. We claim to have built general intelligence, and we have kind of packaged it up to an interesting product to kind of automate the global network, to help people around the world, help them, shuffle resources around so that people can get the stuff they need, the help they need, the assistance they need in everyday life.
Now, wait, I have to ask you, because I like to be clear for myself. Does that mean this is on the blockchain, or what does that mean for the crypto space? Are you using a coin to do that, or how is that work?
Yes. So, trying to keep this short here. So, general intelligence is, by a lot of people, called the mother of all inventions. It is an AI that can think and reason like a human being. And there's a lot of dangers associated with it, and there's a lot of opportunities associated with that. I think the dangers, I'm sure people have heard Elon Musk talk about how AI one day will kill human beings. I don't subscribe to that at all. My biggest fear is an AI like this being controlled by a powerful company or a government is far more dangerous, in my opinion, than killer robots. I just don't believe we're going to kill robots. So when we architected this, we created a very decentralized version of it, which means that anyone can run what we call an AGI node on their network. So home network, corporate network, doesn't matter what it is, which means that everyone can actually own a little piece of it. Now, for these nodes, each of these nodes learn a lot about the world, and they share knowledge so that no matter where in the world you go, you always want this intelligence to know the same thing. And so we use blockchain to make sure that knowledge gets not only synchronized, but trusted, so that no one can go and take control over one node and somehow try to inject bad knowledge, let's call it that.
So now I may ask if this is a private blockchain, or is this an existing decentralized blockchain, or what are you using?
We're going to create a new blockchain on this one. So that's not ready yet. Simply because we need a blockchain technology that is very AI specific to what we're doing. If you look at Ethereum or anything like that, they're great, but they weren't designed for AI.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're merging the two.
Yeah. So we're the utility behind the token. We're going to use for now the Ethereum tokens,
so it's an E20.
ERC20, yes.
ERC20, yes.
Yes, and our token economy is actually pretty interesting as well because...
Wait, before we go too far, I don't want to ignore our other guest who's just sitting here very patient. How would you like to tell us what you're doing with Kimera and why you're here today and all about you?
Okay, well, my name is Faris Mubarak, and I run Tribe Media House, which is a full-service digital marketing agency based out in Portland, Oregon. I help businesses build communities, and with any ICO, that's one of the biggest things that they need to do in order to raise funds. I've actually known Mo for several years now, and I've seen him grow and kind of make some really big milestones. And when he reached out to me and said, hey, what can we do that's kind of groundbreaking, that's something that we haven't done before, that's not been seen in the ICO market, I pitched him this idea of, well, let's create a documentary series. Let's showcase the steps that it takes in order to create a successful ICO. Let's showcase the hardships, the struggles, everything. Let's keep it kind of raw. Let's be honest and let's kind of create an honest sort of communication that doesn't exist in the current ICO market. And he loved the idea. So from there,
I love it too.
We moved forward.
Well, great. Thanks for being here.
Actually, I want to add one thing on what he just said. We actually went out and asked several marketing agencies with real ICO experience to come with a proposal, and we received a bunch of them, and they were all the same thing, different price tags, but it was mostly social media based approaches, and the ICO market is kind of getting full of players. So even though another ICO may not compete with us on product or market, we're still competing about the dollars from people. So that's why I went to Faris and said, you need to come up with something original, something unique. And I think he came up with a pretty darn good idea.
Oh, I do too. So now getting back to the token, One thing that I'm really asked you here for today, because as a former CFO of a New York Stock Exchange company, I'm very interested in where all this, regulation is going to go. And I know that I read that you were doing, you were using Reg A Plus, which, if people don't know what that means, it's an SEC filing that, I guess, can you go to 5 million, or what's the max?
50.
You can go to 50. You're doing
million.
The
tier.
So you have to come up with the audited
tier
financials
2 or tier 1. I forgot what it was.
and all that.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, we can talk at a later show more about that, but I'm just really interested to hear how you're using your token. Actually, it is a token, which is interesting too, since it's going to be an SEC approved token, and where that is going to exchange, how it's going to exchange, because I know if you do a Reg D, you have to keep it for a year. Anyway, tell us some fun things that maybe even if our listeners don't understand, we can clarify in the future.
Sure. So, okay, I'm not a lawyer here, so I'm going to do my best to explain what I understand. I think the biggest thing is when we started this whole ICO process, we decided not to do it on our own, obviously. So we have lawyers, investment bankers, we have an accounting firm, a CPA firm with actual crypto experience, and so we want to create what we call a gold standard in ICOs, and to do that, because we don't know anything about the regulations, our goal was to put together like the perfect team of advisors to help us with that. So when it comes to the Reg D, as far as I understand, so far what we've done,
but you're not doing a Reg D, right?
We did to raise the first money to kind of get going.
And you raised it as a token sale, or
no, as a SAFT.
Right. Okay.
A SAFT that can be exchanged into tokens during the Reg A Plus to avoid the lockup. If I understand how that worked correctly.
Okay.
If we were to convert the SAFT to tokens during the pre-sale, which Americans can't participate in, unfortunately, then you have that 12-month lockup. But if you do it during the Reg A Plus period,
wow, that's awesome.
Then you don't have that lockup. So for now, we're launching the pre-sale next week.
So may I ask you how much you raised in the Reg D filing?
So our goal was to raise. Our goal was just to raise enough to kind of pay the upfront fees for all the vendors that we need. So we thought we needed about $200,000 to do that. With it, the people who participated in that round got a huge token discount. So we didn't want to raise too much. But so our goal is $200,000. We raised $100,000 within 24 hours. The rest within a couple of weeks after that, and we went beyond. And we just had to say, hey, enough is enough.
Now, may I ask you how, when you say you did that, I mean, you just went online and put it out on Reddit, or how did you do that? How did you go out?
This was our network.
This is, okay,
this is our network.
Existing network.
And what I found interesting is, let me think here, I think at least half, probably almost everyone, with a couple of exceptions, had no crypto experience. But
trusted
they read
a
about
trustless
it.
system.
Well, they
trusted you.
They read about it, and one guy actually put it really nicely, actually, because we asked for a minimum of $25,000 or so chunks
to sophisticated investors.
Yeah, and one guy goes, he looked at it as a $25 tuition to learn about crypto.
$25,000 lesson.
That's how we looked at it. He paid $25,000 to get an education in ICOs, believing or hoping that ICOs might be the future of startup investments. I thought that's a great way of looking at it.
Yeah. Okay, so now you've done your Reg D, and again, we'll put maybe links on the website what all this means: SAFT, Reg D, Reg A, all those terms we're using today. But now we've moved on from the pre-sale, basically. Did you call it that?
Yeah, we called it a pre-sale.
Oh, okay, so now you're going to go out with a pre-sale?
We're launching pre-sale, hoping next week. It will be limited to foreign investors under Reg S.
Yeah, United States, we
Yes.
can't get into any of this
No,
yet.
no.